Action.
Action. Okay, so welcome to CKTK TV episode 2. In conversation today with the one and only AC Flow.
What's up?
And okay, so most of this show, I don't want to do like anything written. There's no notes, so we're just gonna get into it, have a conversation, talk about music, talk about your influences. So maybe let's start with your name. Where did AC Flow come from? I know the AC part, but...
Yeah, well, AC is obviously Archie Cardella, which is my name. My full name's actually Archie Jack Columbus Pin Cardella, so it's actually Archie Pin Cardella.
I've never met a white person with like bare names.
Yeah, because my dad is Jean-François Pin.
Okay.
So Pin is the French.
Yeah.
But then he added Cardella to the name because I think that's from my ancestry. I was supposed to ask him. I really keep meaning to, but I always forget. But yeah,
feels like Italian.
It is. Yeah. So Archie Cardella and then flow. That's just the flow. That's everything. That's the universe. That's me. That's you. That's the connection. The state.
We're in the flow state. It took me a while to not a while to clock it, but when I clocked it, I was like, oh, okay, like you're tapping into this place and you're letting that energy just like flow through you, and it comes out in your music very well.
That's it, man.
But maybe let's give context. I like giving context. I did the same thing last time. We met.
Yeah, we met at Presser. We met at a Presser show in the queue. We just started chatting.
Ace Hotel.
Yeah.
That was wild. I think like for me, like looking back, it was just such a. When I meet people, sometimes I get that instant connection or feeling. I'm like, all right, there's a connection here. Like, there's something that we need to do. It's kind of like, like in a game, and then there's a specific person you need to go and meet and follow that part of the mission, or whatever the case may be. But
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and I think your energy was so like, this was like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So, like, even at that age, the same energy you have now, it flows through that. One thing I clocked was like the curiosity. You're very curious and very like out there, and also just so. That was another thing, that you were there alone, isn't it? Or I think
I came on my own.
I was alone, and we met in the thing. That's because we were like, "Oh, you're alone? Yeah, I'm alone."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But I remember, you were just there dancing, and I remember sitting down and thinking, right, this guy, he's like. He doesn't care what everybody else is thinking, and at that young age,
I remember that like I was like dancing when everyone was kind of in the side.
In the corners, yeah. Like most events.
I always do that. Like that. But it's funny.
Exactly. You have to like feel it. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, there's something we share. And then it took a few years for us to actually get back into contact. You were really focusing on your production, working with like Sam Wise, Blaze,
Bazzer,
the House of Pharaoh, Mandem, and then you put out your first album,
Self-Realized.
Yeah, it was but I didn't even listen to you at the point before the Beatles cover. So
is it?
Yeah. I hadn't like properly listened. Like I'd kept not a tab, but like I kept you and my stories. Like,
I remember.
See what you're doing. But that first album, I was just like, oh, there's something even more special here. Like aside from you understanding music, it was like, oh, like you're trying to tell the world something. And I remember you saying that. It's like before you released it, you were like, wait, I need to tell people something. It was like that kind of thing. You had an urgent message kind of thing. And then when you put it out and I listened to it, I was like, right, I get the message. Like it's almost like self-liberating, like letting go of societal pressures and things like that. And
the things that hold you back.
Yes, and not letting, and those things that hold you back to not letting you be yourself. And you do it through the music, and you do it, like I said to you when we met up, on TikTok. And it's so good though.
TikTok is funny, bro.
Yeah.
I like TikTok.
Yeah, I know. But the way you express yourself without any barriers, and you haven't stopped, I think is very commendable, and something that is needed, like very, very much needed, especially for men, because there's so much pressure, so much thing. Like, how did you? What in your life led you to make that decision for yourself to want to be more expressive and be like,
I just
fuck.
can't help myself, bro. That's the thing. It's like, I, you know, obviously I love music, you know. I've always, like, I remember one of my very earliest memory is me being like 5 years old and like watching Green Day on TV, and like I had like chopsticks and I was banging on the drums. I remember looking at, I think his name's Billy Joel. No, not Billy Joel. But
The main guy.
Billy Joe Armstrong. That's it.
Okay.
He, the singer. I just think like he's fucking cool.
Yeah,
And just being like gassed, and then yeah. So like all my life, I've always kind of been a maverick.
What's that, Logan?
Like a fucking, I've always had people love me and I've always had people hate on me, you know, in a way. So I've always kind of polarized people, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, like, and like, you know, I don't know if I've spoken to you about Michael, but
Your guru.
my guru,
Your
yeah.
guru.
And so like, I've been speaking to him since I dropped Self-Realized.
Okay.
So like, end of 2019.
I think that's
Even earlier, I think, 2018. I remember the first time I ever spoke to Michael, bro. This is what was happening to me at that time.
Yeah, give us origin story of Michael.
Yeah, I'll give you the back, bro. Me, like, being the person that I am, like, I obsess over things in a way. Like, so, for a long time, I was obsessed by the way I looked.
Right.
You know, and I would get very self-conscious about how I looked. And, like, I remember, like, you know when you look at yourself in the mirror, yeah? Like, every reflective surface there was, I would catch myself looking in it, you know?
Right.
And A, that would start to trip me out. I'd be like, why the fuck am I doing this? And B, it's like I would judge so hard what I saw, you know? And I remember it just got to a point so bad where I just didn't like what I was seeing, or like I was just constantly in this like mental, and I was like fucking pulling my hair out, bro. I was like, fuck. And Vincent was like, bro, like, let's talk to Michael, man. Like, he'd been trying to get me to talk to Michael, but I never really wanted to.
Who's Vincent?
Vincent's my older brother.
Right, yeah.
Have you met him?
I know, but I've seen him in the stories a few times.
Vincent's my older brother. And sick that I have an older brother. And then I spoke to Michael and I was like, Michael, man, like, I was crying and shit. Like, I was like, Michael, man, I'm so obsessed with myself, so obsessed with looking at myself. Like, I always want to look perfect. Do you know what his response was? Well, Archie, you know, you're a rock star. It's normal that you care about your appearance, you know. And this is the first time I'd ever spoken to him. And we periodically go back, because I speak to him pretty much every day in a way, like once every 2 days. You know, if things are really intense, I'll call him often. But I'm better now, because he doesn't like it when I complain. So, because sometimes I call him and I'm complaining, and I can just feel that he's like, nah, man up and just do this shit. Do you know what I mean? You know. So I just kind of don't. I'm like, all right, I'm going, Michael, and then I just do it. You know. But back then, he had a lot of patience with me, and like, and yeah, like, you know, that I forgot the fucking question, but expressing myself, yeah. So part of me always looking at myself is part of me just wanting to see if I'm expressing myself more authentically or not, you know, because everyone has that desire to express themselves authentically, you know, but we all are holding on to things that are holding us back from doing that. And that's what I learned from speaking to Michael and talking about the flow and reading, you know, certain spiritual books and stuff, and just learning these things is that actually we just hold on to so much, you know, that stops us from
being ourselves.
Really being ourselves. Like, I'll be in the function, you know, like, and there's just I'll be in the function just vibing, and like people are responding to me mad good, you know, like, you know, people asking me for pictures and stuff, and like, I'm just vibing, and they're like, did you come on your own? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yo. Because, you know, like, the thoughts, these are the things that, this is an example of things holding you back. Before, I was thinking, nah, I got to pull up with the boys, you know, because I don't want to be there on my own because I got clout now. And it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be there on my own. Like, what the fuck? You know, this is just the mental dialogue that we all go through, you know. And it's like, I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to say, fuck it, bro.
Basically.
Literally.
Especially if you want to. If there's a want inside of you, and then the only thing stopping you from getting that want is yourself, I think that's like the biggest thing. And then that's where we are in, I guess, society in general. And I think it's crazy that you actually have a guru. I don't think that's very
it's not
common.
normal. No, it's not common.
But I feel like
most people think it's weird.
Yeah, but a lot of those people that maybe you share that with and have that response are people who neglect the spiritual side of themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're all
of course
a three, you know, the mind, body, spirit. But to get through this life, a lot of people ignore the spiritual side because it's easier in a sense to just put your head down and grind or follow something that's already been laid out for you, like go to school, go to uni, get a job. Like that feels very, very normal. But I think it's good. I think it's good that you're sharing about the benefits of having somebody. I'm guessing Michael's a bit older than you.
Bro, Michael's 85.
Okay, there you go. So
and he lives in LA, and I've never met him before.
Wow, and you talked
to him. All I know of him is his fucking Skype picture, but we video called a bunch of times as well, so I've seen him live in the flesh.
That's so mad.
Or live-ish in the flesh.
Yeah.
I love Michael, bro. Michael is like, he's almost like a second dad to me, you know. Like,
I've seen a lot of people asking what books you're reading.
Well, mainly it's Vashista's Yoga, which is the teachings between Vashista and Rama. It's about 10,000 years old. And basically Rama comes to Vashista and he's like, because Rama was very privileged. He grew up, I think, I may not make some details up. So please, if people are watching this, just correct me if I'm wrong. But what I know of Rama is I think he was a very privileged kid who grew up in a very rich family, I think, or this could be Krishna, but basically I think he went out one day and he saw, because he was so sheltered, you know, and then he went out one day and he saw the poverty and the hurt in the world, and he was already pretty advanced spiritually, because that's just was his purpose. He's an avatar, you know. So it's like he came in with real high perceptions on reality, and then like he saw the hurt in the world, and he was like, he went to Vashista and he was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, how are people so deluded? How are people so sad? You know, you can have nothing and still be happy. You know, I know that sounds hard to believe from someone like me who is, you know, externally quite privileged. You know, I come from a wealthy family. You know, I'll always be looked after if I need it, you know. So someone who has nothing may be like, what? That's not true. But the actual truth is that happy place and that bliss is always inside you, you know.
But you see that, though. You do see that sometimes in certain countries where, let's say, they don't have as many distractions and their life is literally making food, but they're happy. They're like, they are happy.
Yeah, and then you get, like, maddest suicide rates in America. Who you've got supposedly everything you want, but you look at African children in the fucking desert, bro, who've got nothing, living in tribes, and they're like smiling up, bro. They're like, they got the biggest smile. They got pearly whites, you know.
Crazy. I think that's it's such a beautiful example of that. Like,
yeah, man,
we can be happy without all these external
if
things.
anything, it just makes you more depressed, and that's also the premise. One of the premises of Vashista's yoga is like nothing. Let me actually. Do you mind if I read something?
Yeah. Bring out.
This is something that my friend sent me, because one of my friends had just started reading the book as well.
I'm trying to get back into reading.
So he said, O sage, thus neither in childhood nor in youth nor in old age does one enjoy any happiness. None of the objects in this world is meant to give happiness to anyone. The mind vainly seeks to find such happiness in the objects of this world. Only he is happy who is free from egotism and who is not swayed by craving for sense pleasure. But such a person is extremely rare in this world. Indeed, I do not regard him as a hero who is able to battle successfully against a mighty army. Only him I consider a hero who is able to cross the ocean known as the mind and the senses. So,
Mad.
and he sent me that at a good time because my mind was going crazy about a bunch of things at work. You know, fuck this job, I want to blow up, blah, 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 blah. You know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, actually, yeah, no, I'm blowing up right now inside. Like, I am the storm. You know?
You're taking that journey, and like, that's what I said to you in the text. I was like, enjoy the journey, because one day, like, you're gonna have the things you want. And I feel like, I don't know if it's because sometimes when I overgeneralize, I get scared that I'm, you know, missing a bunch of people who might not fit that description. But if you know, like Alan Watts, like, have you ever listened to
Yeah.
And he talks about how you actually get whatever you want, and you don't understand that. And a lot of the time, it's your subconscious that's actually bringing these things that you don't want, but subconsciously it's something you've been programmed to, whether it's like a past life or just a bad childhood or whatever, and you get brought up with these certain things that are stuck in your subconscious, and then it creates the outer world that you're in, and then you're like, oh no, I don't want this, but subconsciously you do. So it's like fix it. It's hard to fix your subconscious. Like I've been microdosing for like a year, and it's been the best thing like for me. It's taught me so much, especially about. It showed me more than taught me how my world was created through my actions as well. Like, there's a while where I'm like, okay, I'm at UPS or I'm working as a chef, and I'm like, fuck this shit. Like, I really hate this shit, but I need to get paid and blah, 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 blah. But I think as soon as I took a little leap of faith, and then I'm like, oh, like, there's this whole new world that I don't know about. And it's like, or even creating wealth and manifestation and all these things. It's like, if you don't believe it, then it's not going to happen. And it's funny because we were talking about the watch earlier. I was with my cousin, and my cousin's kind of like my best friend. He is a best friend. Like, he's like a brother to me more than a cousin. We went to Hatton Gardens and we saw these watches, and he looked at me and he could see that I wanted one. And then he was like, promise me you're going to get one. And he's like, he forced me to make that kind of, that deal. And I was like, for a second, there was a bit of that old me in there going like, can I actually do that? And then it was like a thing of the work that I've been doing to be like, okay, I can. I shook his hand. I was like, let's do this. Yeah. And it's kind of like a bet, whatever. But
it's like,
I didn't believe it, you know?
Yeah, it's like this girl that I work with at Gales, right? She momentarily goes to me like, Archie, who do you think you are? And it's like, I'm a fucking rock star, you know? And like, she makes me like affirm it, you know, more. And sometimes I find it hard to say it when I'm in a down. I'm like, am I a rock star? You know?
I can imagine.
Then it's just like, nah, fam, I'm already that.
Yeah, you're born to be it. And it's, do you know, like, let's say your timelines, right? Do you know, like, quantum physics, low-key, that kind of stuff about, like, how, because my girlfriend, she reads past lives, and basically everything's happened simultaneously, right? So it's like your future self you're experiencing yourself and your future self, your past self, low-key simultaneously, and there might be moments I feel like you could relate to that, where you're like, my reality is not matching what I feel inside. Like I feel like I should be here, but I'm here, and it's just it's interesting because all that is that you're aware of where you're supposed to be, and the reality needs to catch up. Same way, I think we talked about the Kanye documentary and how he already knew where he's gonna go, but the rest of the world was like,
and everyone was kind of neglecting him and his music. That was very interesting.
Everyone's like, who do you think you are?
That was so interesting, bro.
Did you feel some similarities when you watched that?
Definitely, bro. People always compare me to Kanye. They always feel that. I love Kanye, you know. He's... If we're talking musically, he's probably the most influential in my life. Kanye, like... I love Kanye, bro. I had a dream with Kanye the other day, bro. Yeah, well, I was like... Because you know how he's doing all this political shit and stuff. And I was
Yeah,
telling
wow.
him like, and Graduation was playing in the background. I told him like, I'm gonna be the first artist with 100 million streams, and I was like skipping around the place. I was so excited, and people were following me, and he was there. And then like Graduation was playing in the background, and I was like, Kanye, man, you hear this music, bro? You gotta get back in this place, man, where you were just having fun with it, you know. And it wasn't all this serious shit where it's like so fucking intense and like, you know. It was like fun and vibey, you know. And then like. Yeah, I was just telling him that. And then I also had a dream with Kanye where we were like crying together, like we were crying our eyes out together and like hugging and shit. So I defo, when I link Kanye, it's gonna be like, yeah, like we're gonna have some mutual understanding for
100%,
Shizzo.
100%.
I love Ye, bro.
And it's funny you said that. When you said it, I saw it like a painting in my head.
Yeah.
Like a painting of you and him like crying. I think that would be funny. So any painters out there?
Paint that shit.
Yeah, got some inspiration.
Nah, I love Kanye, man.
That would be dope.
And the fact that just people were neglecting his music, because like it's my music, like my music, yeah. Also shout out Drake, because on Drake's acceptance speech for Artist of the Decade, like he said, like, you know, in truth, like I'm really self-conscious about my music, and you know, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going with it. That's another saying that Michael tells me. He says sometimes all you gotta do is show up. You know,
Yes.
just show up to the gig, show up to the doorstep, show up to the laptop, and make what you need to do. Because that's the most rock star behavior you can do, is just show up.
Sometimes that's the hardest bit.
That's the hardest, and that's what. You know, the Chinese definition of realization is it doesn't matter what you think or what you say, it only matters what you do. So you could be thinking about some next shit and being out of the flow, but really just take that next action that's gonna make you happier, you know.
It's the IRL concept, and it's funny, like in the last episode we talked about this with Sam.
Who did you have on the last?
It's I don't know if you know him, but it's a friend of mine. We grew up skating, and he started to release music.
Oh, so the guy where you were
I showed you the
looking in that?
screenshot. Yeah.
Okay.
So he does music as well. We grew up like talking about music. Shout out to Sam.
I love that logo.
Yeah, the people that know about this logo will know about this logo. It's a very
So did you have it with the A as well?
yeah from the jump, because it's
What
a
is that, the
skateboarding
Anakin
thing.
thing?
Yeah, so we're like a skateboarding crew. We're like fuck the rules, fuck everything. Like you're 16 years old smoking weed, like just skating everywhere, having a good time. I mean, there'll be a few people who might recognize the logo, but now it's the same energy. We're bringing. My main thing is to bring curiosity back into life and people to really, because I picked it up again, if that makes sense. I had so much time in my life where I wasn't curious and I was just so bogged down with life and work and shit like that.
No.
And now
How old are you again, bro?
I'm 26.
Oh, okay.
So I'm rediscovering what it means to play as well. That's something that came up this week for me. I was like, why am I so serious all the time? Why is everything so like, I have to impress people, or I have to look good, or all these things, or even my girlfriend, we've been together for 7 years. I still feel that fear of like, am I good enough for you? Or do you know what I'm saying? And then it brings that serious tone, because you're kind of trying hard. You're trying too hard to be like the best boyfriend ever. And then it's like, sometimes you just have to fall back and realize that we're all just playing with each other. And what happened was we had an argument over some things we've been talking, not argument, but we were talking about some things. And I realized that, and it's like, even though we're 26, we have our own place, we're adults, we feel, you know, like we got bills, responsibilities. Really and truly, you know, when you see kids playing together and they don't, so let's say they're not getting along, and you think to yourself like, oh, the only reason they're not getting along is because one kid's been brought up one way, the other kid's been brought up the other way, and they're just clashing. But even as adults, that can happen, where you don't mix with certain people and you're like, oh, we're clashing, and really and truly it's because you're not understanding the rules of the other person. But yeah, it's just off comment, but it's something that I think is so... We're talking about play, talking about relationships. Okay, so that kind of goes well with your music, because there's something very lover boy, something sweet about your music, and I think that's really nice. Like, that's some of the songs I relate the most to. Like Night in Shining Armor is like one of my favorite songs, because it shows, it paints that picture of you feeling like that savior kind of thing, and like you're showing up in that way, and like you're pouring your heart out and all
And
that stuff.
best believe, when I was making that song, my mind was telling me things like, you know, they're not gonna like this, or this isn't you, or this is that. What are you doing? But I still just fucking did it
Yeah,
because I was just like, nah, bro, I need to do this shit.
Yes.
Fuck all that.
And this is a moment, I guess, to show the people who are watching, the people who follow you, to show them that they because I know I felt like that before. A lot of people have felt like that before, but they don't. They do stop.
Yeah,
And they don't.
That's
cross
what
over.
holding back is,
Yeah.
bro.
And you didn't. And you crossed over that threshold, and you created something beautiful at the end of it.
That's what it is, bro.
So that's actually a really good sign for other people who are watching. It's like,
Yeah, man.
Even AC Flow has issues,
Bro, that's the reason I'm gonna be like massive, is because I'm fixing my issues. And people are gonna be like, how's he doing that?
And you're wearing it on your sleeves as well.
Yeah, man, because it's like, fuck it, you know. It gets to a point where it's like, I'm 22, I'm not gonna be young forever. I already envision myself as being the biggest, like selling more records than anyone, and just being like changing the entire course for music and spirituality and the way we view reality. Like, I see myself as a massive player in that, you know. So it's like, it gets to a point where it's like, fuck it, man.
Fuck it, just do it.
This is what I gotta do, like.
Yeah. And you're making moves like the. It's funny you said that, because your first open mic, I don't know if that was your first. You know when I came to see you in Old Street, the open mic night with Mr. I Am
The
Lex.
one when I had my bleached hair.
I don't remember it, but I came with Lauren, and it was a Mr. I Am Next one. It was like a small little basement type thing.
Yeah, that was one of them. Was that when I performed The Sun and I was wearing that tracksuit?
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
Bro, my style's changed so much.
I know. But
So
what was
much
beautiful
colder.
was that after, I have the video of it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
remember.
if I can find it.
Literally gonna speak about this.
And the people that I thought they were your friends or they knew you, but I don't think they were, and they just had listened to music, and they were like literally dancing and singing and like singing your music.
The vibe was mad.
after the thing, and it was like, this is the end goal, not the end goal, but one of the goals of your music, and it's to kind of bring that back into people, that like, yo, wake up, like, there's still time, we're still alive. And I saw a quote, someone said that like, we as the living are a rare species of the dead. And when I clocked that, I was like, there's like, so if you think of humans, there's more dead than there are alive. Like, we're so rare, the fact that we're alive. And you said that, you know, you're 22, you're not going to be young forever.
That's true, actually,
And
because the amount of humans that have died compared to the ones that are living right now. Because when you're dead forever.
It's done.
Whereas when, your physical body's dead
Well,
forever.
your representation, like Archie Cardella, at some point will be gone. And it's like, that in itself holds so much power. And
but this Archie Cardella is also just another disguise, you know. It's also just another, like Michael's wife says it well. She says, it's just a costume. It's like, if I were to rip your arms off your shoulders, would you still be Dan? You know? Yeah. Okay. Well, if I was to take your head off, you know, would you still be Dan? Yeah. You know, how far do you peel back for you to still be Dan? And then it's like, well, when Dan goes, what's left?
Yeah.
You know? Because if you actually realize it, like, if you're the one observing your thoughts and stuff, then you have to be more than that. I believe that we're all just part of one infinite consciousness, you know. That's what I believe. And I felt it, you know. It's not just like I just believe that because I've read it in a book. It's like I felt it, you know. And it's like, sometimes I walk around these streets like I am unstoppable. Even if you killed me right now, like I wouldn't even care. You could kill me right now. Do you know what I mean? Like the only reason I'd be a little bit sad is because I wasn't like fucking rocking the world, because that's all I want to do is rock the world. You know.
It's so funny because Elvis, when he in the film, he doesn't get to do that. Like, he gets stuck in the US. He doesn't get to rock the fucking world.
And bro, you don't want to know something about Elvis, bro? My man died of a drug overdose, bro. My man died of overeating. Like, these guys weren't happy, bro. This is the thing. It's like, I'm gonna be happy. I am happy, you know. And it's like I'm gonna take all the things, the adversities that come, and I'm gonna realize, boom, boom, channel, boom, bro. Trust me, like I'm gonna live a long and healthy life, you know.
Amen.
Ain't no
Amen.
fucking drug overdose or
27
whatever.
Club.
Because it's like I know I don't need those things, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like you got Elvis who had everything, and it's like cool. He started out as happy, but then boom, it just goes down.
But it was a
So many rock stars have that issue, bro. Do you look at how many rock stars die? How many crazy artists there are?
A lot of the time that is the music industry and the
Yeah.
negative people who are in that industry.
Yeah,
who
but
suck the soul out of the artist.
yeah,
you know?
but at the same time, it's like if you are everything, then nothing can stop you.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
100%.
That's how I see it. It's like I could sit here, you know, like I'm not gonna sit here and say like bad things aren't gonna happen to me or where it's gonna really take its toll on me. Like shit is gonna be real intense, you know. People are always gonna take shots at me. There's always gonna be shit going on, but it's like I know I just have a higher perception, you know, and I'm gonna be fine, you know.
That's the beauty of, I guess, getting involved in spirituality, like at a young age. It's gonna help you keep balance. There's a lot of people.
That's why, like, look at Justin Bieber, bro. It's like Justin Bieber's been famous since forever, and like he's gone through the maddest shit. He's been gone through major downs.
Didn't he
public
recently?
downs.
His like face got paralyzed as well.
Yeah, fam,
mad.
just mad shit, bro. I could tell you. Look at him when he meets Billie Eilish. He's fucking crying because he's like, "Oh, I just don't want you to go through the same." Like that's not being happy, you know. And it's not Justin Bieber to blame. That's been his experience. But I'm gonna do it different, bro.
Yeah, we have to, and I think that's what I was getting at about the industry and how a lot of change needs to occur.
I feel like I'm gonna change the entire music industry, bro. Like even the way music's made. Like music nowadays is like, okay, we got a team of songwriters. We got this. We got this one, and they like fucking like they're so like methodical about it. Like to an extent, that is really good, and I feel like I need that for my music as well. You know, better lyrics. I can improve in every aspect of my music for sure. But the fucking impulse and like that's like so. Oh my god, you listen to some of these songs and it's like, bruh, it's like so dead, and it's like it's doing #1 because that's what people know right now. But when you give them something better,
Something
man,
new.
they gonna rap with it.
something fresh, some of that AC flow shit.
They gonna rock. Like I get visions of me like, yeah, bro. Today, like yesterday, I was closing Gales, right, closing the shop. Mopping, sweeping, bro. Cleaning KP, man. I fucking work my ass off, bro. I swear. Cleaning, I'm doing this shit. Like, I'm doing it, bro. I work my fucking ass off, bro. I swear. And I was just listening to my song, one that I've made recently. It's called Come to Me, My Baby or My Lady. I don't know if it's going to be baby or lady, but...
It's not out yet.
No, it's not out. It's unreleased. I was like, and I was just there like, fuck. And there's like a million people, and like the energy's like fucking pulsating, bro. Like I could just fucking feel it. And it's like, that to me, I felt it then and there. That's the most real, like.
That's mad.
So no one could ever say, oh, you're not gonna be successful. Fine, cool. Like you can say that. You know.
It's like low key, you're already there, basically.
I'm already there, bro. That's what Michael tries to tell me. Because I'll be talking to Michael like, oh yeah, Michael, when I'm this, when I'm that. He's like, Archie, you're already that. Like you're already that. And I really now I catch myself like when I'm down, I'm like, nah, I am that rock star.
It's like that mantra you repeat to yourself.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there already, bro.
I'm excited. Like I think when these things do occur.
I'm worried about your laptop and the noise it's making.
I know it.
Do you know what I mean?
It happens. It happens.
But obviously.
This is what it is.
Go on, tell me.
It's raw.
Yeah, it's raw. Exactly, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut your
no,
flow.
It's calm. And I just noticed here, yeah, we made a ring, but it's like the Trinity ring.
Yeah, bro, I was doing.
It's perfect,
because
bro.
I did that. I was doing that.
That's
I was
mad.
doing it as I was doing it, and it's like fucking perfect.
perfect.
But I just ruined it by adding it there.
But yeah, that's crazy. But it's gonna happen. Like
It already has.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's written. I feel as we grow up, as we go through life, we're like picking apart these pieces, and it's like a mystery. And it's like back to Alan Watts, because I think Alan Watts for me was such a big.
He's great.
Yeah, he's helped me through so much shit. Like I'll just be in bed at 16, like confused.
Wow,
Listening
16,
to Anna Watts. Yeah.
Damn.
Like, and that shit, he said it's like a game that we play with ourselves. It's funny he's talked about the costume. We're kind of playing hide and seek with each other and like our expressions as humans, I guess, and with the outer shell and all that stuff. But I'm interested to know in what are your well, technically we'll probably talk about that anyways, but what are you excited about coming up? What do you want to, I guess,
The AC Flow show.
yes,
That we're both working on.
yeah, it's gonna be sick.
We just got the flyer done. This is gonna be the biggest show on the planet. Like,
And I think, well, let me see. I'm not too sure if this is gonna be released before or after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try
probably after.
probably after
Well,
or
after the show.
after the show.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see. But you're either gonna have to come and see it.
Yeah.
Or
Or we
you've
hope you had
done
a
it.
good time,
You had a
which I
good
know
time.
you would.
Exactly.
There you go.
And if you weren't there, you'll definitely see it. But yeah, that is the biggest thing, and I'm glad that you kind of kept bringing it up, because when I first saw you live, I was just like blown away, and like every single time that I have seen you live, which has only been a handful of times, the energy cannot be replicated. And even if somebody else's music is more contemporary or
Jumpy and
or
they're
jumpy
moshing.
and shit like that, it still doesn't have that energy that you really bring. Because like even that time at the Old Blue Last, the guy that works there, shout out to Wyatt, he's a handsome motherfucker, but he came out and he was
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember
and
him.
he's like the bartender there, and he's like, he's not even there for the show, but the fact that he came out
He
and
was the
like,
bartender.
yeah,
I
he was like, yo, like your shit was like really,
Yeah,
like, he
that
felt it.
show was mad.
Yeah, that was
But also,
beautiful.
I realized that in this AC Flow show, I remember, because I would see like other people in the scene like kind of like scream into the mic. I was like screaming, and I forgot that. Oh wait, no, I can sing my songs. I
The mic does it for you.
Yeah, like I completely forgot. Just like play your role, and I'm just like screaming it. But it's also because I'm jumping up. But now I feel like in the AC Flow show, I'm gonna be way more controlled. And I want a mic stand so I can hold it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's gonna be sick, but it's all experience. You're still having fun with this and learning. And like you said, your music, it's got leaps and bounds to still grow. And the fact that it's so
Fucking
good
hell,
at
bro.
such an early stage
My music
just means
can
it's
go
gonna
far.
be crazier. And I think that's what I'm most excited for, to see where you take it. Like,
I'm so gassed, bro. I mean, I be making a song a day these days, you know. And they're maybe not all amazing, but
you're still working.
bro, I can't help myself, bro. Like when I go home tonight, like I'm gonna make a track.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you had your stuff here as well, but no.
Nah.
Keeping it there.
Nah, I mean making music in front of others, like maybe we'll get to it, but.
Yeah. It's tough.
I've like I've started getting really good at like collaborating with people and stuff. So like I collab a lot with my younger brother and his friends and stuff, and also my friend Cameron. I want to work with some artists and make songs with them, but I know they all want beats from me as well. So yeah, man. What I'm excited for is just being happy right now, you know, and like continuously like changing my perception. You know, finding that happy place amongst myself whilst there's all the chaos going around, you know. And it you know, Michael says this a lot, you know, when I talk to him about stuff and you know, we're going back and forth, he says, you know, it's going to get to a point where you're going to use everything as part of the Rockstar energy. Like you're gonna take things and just use them for good, like in a very subtle and spiritual way. You're gonna use every energy that there is out there possible and in there, I should say, and you're gonna use it as a manifestation of the Rockstar energy, you know.
With great power comes great responsibility.
In all my songs, I'm just gonna keep, no matter what, like just keep, because really, you know, more and more it's getting to a point where it's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I can just do this for real.
Yes.
And like, I'm unstoppable. Like,
and that's the first stage, like we were talking about. It's like if you don't believe that subconsciously, it won't actually manifest in reality. I was looking for that.
100%. What does my eye look like through here?
I look kind of crazy.
You look so mad, bruv. Whoa.
Should put it on the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But I'm excited. The community is growing. That's one thing.
Yeah.
The flowers.
Let's see where we're at on TikTok now, and then we can in you know, when this goes out. All right, we're at 51.3 thousand on TikTok.
Mad.
On Insta, we're at 7,121.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And on Spotify, I think it was like 1,800, 1,850, something like that. So the family's growing, man. The family's growing, and it's good. It's good to see people taking it in, and it's so early. So if the people who are watching this on YouTube and commenting and shit like that, you guys are very, very early. So
yeah.
So be proud of that. You guys are early adopters. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Definitely. So people watching, if you are watching, if this is out before the show, then I want to see people excited for it. And then if not, I want people commenting and being like, "Yo, that shit was crazy," blah blah blah, what you felt. But we're gonna work hard to make sure that we get the AC Flow experience to every part of the world that we can, and just have fun and bring that energy and just wake people up, make people feel alive again.
Yeah,
I think that's a beautiful, beautiful message and a beautiful way to come across to the world. So yeah, that was beautiful.
Definitely,
I really enjoyed our conversation.
Is that it then? Yeah.
I think so. I think we should just give them a little taste.
Cool,
they had
man.
a little taste. They had a little look into a bit more of AC and what makes you you.
Y'all can call me AC Flow, AC, or just Archie.
Yeah, and so go stream. If you want to hear more, it's all on Spotify, Apple Music. I'm gonna put all the links, everything down below. You can see more of AC Flow on TikTok, Instagram, and hopefully coming to a city near you. So,
bro, we gonna be there for Shizzo. Just to let y'all know, that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna be there.
Keep streaming, get the numbers up.
Keep streaming, pay for my bills, and then I'll come see you. Sorry, I love you guys seriously, and I appreciate everyone. And better times are coming, and yeah, man. Shit's lit.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, love.